Hi, future Let Busters.
We are the Let Mentors.
Hi, I'm Miss G. I am Miss Joy.
I am Sir Brian.
I'm Sir John.
I'm Miss Rhea. And I am Miss Lee.
For more exciting videos, don't forget to hit our notification bell down below.
Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Kudos Matutundo!
Your mind was calling, girl, let me provide your needs. Freaky girl under the sheets. With your love when things start slowing down, I know you got me, baby.
Okay. Good morning sa lahat. My name is Mary Jean Pellet, or you can call me Miss Dee. I'm one of the mentors from Elite Let Mentors. So, this morning, everyone, we're going to continue the LET review or the Let review sa general education. At kung maaari po, ini-encourage ko po kayong lahat na sa mga tanong ko po ay sumagot lamang po kayo sa chat box. Nagkakaintindihan po ba tayo? Okay, all right. Let's start. So, ang tanong po sa number 26, Saint Augustine believed that happiness can only be found in. Uulitin ko po. Saint Augustine believed that happiness can only be found in A. Material wealth, B. Social acceptance, C. Virtue and moderation, or D. God. So, saan nga ba? According nga po pala kay Saint Augustine, na ang happiness, mahanap lamang po natin sa material wealth ba? Sa social acceptance ba? Sa virtue and moderation? Or sa ating Panginoon or kay God? So, titingnan po natin before po pa natin titingnan, i-chat niyo muna kung ano po ang sagot niyo sa number 26. Okay, marami po ang nagsabi or ay nag-chat ng letter B daw. Marami din pong nag-chat ng letter D. Okay, titingnan natin kung ano na ngayon ang sagot. Okay, it is letter D. Bakit nga ba? Because Saint Augustine po ay isang prominent Christian theologian and philosopher, believed that ang true happiness and fulfillment can only be found in a relationship with God. So mahahanap lamang po daw ito sa relasyon natin o sa koneksyon natin kay Panginoon o kay God. Okay. Palakpak naman po sa mga lahat ng tama ang sagot. Very good. Okay. Now, for number 27, which philosopher emphasized the importance of moderation through the golden mean? I'm going to repeat the question. Which philosopher emphasized the importance of moderation through the golden mean? Is it A. Plato, B. Aristotle, C. Saint Augustine, D. Socrates? Okay, now you may now chat in the chat box what is your answer. Okay, many of you answer Plato. There's also D. Socrates or Socrates. There's also Aristotle. Bakit walang sumasagot ng Saint Augustine dito? Okay. Ang tama pong sagot ay Aristotle. Because the concept of the golden mean is a key idea in Aristotle's ethical philosophy. So, in his work in Nicomachean Ethics, Aristotle argues that moral virtues lies between extremes and that the best course of action is often a moderate one. So, the golden mean, guys, represent that desirable middle ground between two vices, the excess and the deficiency. So, I hope po nakuha niyo po yung number 27. So, sa lahat po ng mga tama ang sagot, tama kayo dyan. Doon po sa mga mali ang sagot, meron pa naman po maraming tanong na maaari nyo pong may sagot ng tama. Okay? So now for number 28, method of asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to draw out ideas and underlying presumptions. Ito daw po ay isang method of asking and answering question para ma-stimulate ang ating critical thinking at makadraw out ng mga ideas and underlying presumptions. Okay, we have the choices of A, Socratic method, B, methodological doubt, C, Socrates method, or D, method of doubt. Okay, letter A, Socratic method. So, sa mga nakasagot ng letter A, palakpakan niyo po ang inyong sarili. Now, Socratic method because it is named after the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. It is a technique of asking and answering questions to stimulate critical thinking and to clarify ideas. So, nag-i-involve ito ng mga probing questions that would challenge assumptions and encourage deeper reflection and concepts. Okay, this method is widely used in philosophy and education to promote learning through dialogue. Okay, now I have number 29. So according to Locke, what give us our identity? According daw po kay Locke, what give us our identity? A, is it religion? B, myth? C, memories? Or D, show? Okay, it is memories because John Locke argued that personal identity is rooted in memory. Because according to his theory of personal identity, a person's identity daw is determined by the continuity of their consciousness and memories. So according po daw sa mga memories natin. So it is through the memory of past experiences that a person maintains their identity over time, not by a soul or physical continuity. So thus, our memories are the central of Locke's understanding of identity. Okay. Now for number 30, which of this exists to healthy regulate the id? Which of this exists to healthy regulate the id? So, naaalala po ba natin or na-remember po ba natin si id? Okay. Galing po siya sa psychoanalytic theory from Sigmund Freud. So now we have the choices of A, superego, B, religion, C, parents, D, ego. So from the question natin nun, id, healthy regulate the id. So magsasenter po tayo kay id. So sa ating choices, nakikita naman po natin na ang mga hindi kabilang ay makakancel po natin, di ba? Okay, so ang maiiwan lamang po dito ay si superego at si ego. So, sino nga ba po ang nagre-regulate, nag-healthy regulate kay E? Okay, let's see what is the answer. It is ego. Palakpakan nyo naman po ang sarili nyo at nakatama po kayong lahat. Marami po ang nagsasagot ng letter D. Okay, because in Freud's psychoanalytic theory, si ego acts as the mediator between the id. Si id po natin ay yung mga primal desires and impulses natin. And the super ego. So, si super ego, which represents moral standards. So, the ego is responsible for balancing the needs of the id with the constraints of reality, helping individuals navigate socially acceptable behaviors and make rational decisions. So, therefore, ang ego plays the crucial role of regulating the id in a healthy way. Okay? Naiintindihan ba? Naiintindihan ng lahat dahil tama ang inyong mga sagot. Now we have number 31. What is the secondary burial jar that was discovered in the Manungo Cave in Palawan? Ano daw po yung secondary burial jar na na-discovered sa Manungo Cave in Palawan? Okay, we have the choices of A. Maitom jar, B. Manungo jar, C. Tabon jar, D. Sarcophagus jar. Okay, wala pa nga po akong sinasabi na sumagot kayo, ay marami na pong sumasagot. At ang answer nila ay puro letter B. Tingnan natin kung tama nga po pala ang inyong mga sagot. Okay, tama po. Kaya palakpakan niyo po ang inyong sarili at sabihin niyo, ay, tama ako. Okay. So, si Manungo jar po is the secondary burial jar na na-discovered sa Manungo Cave in Palawan, Philippines. It dates back to around 890 to 710 BC and is notable for its intricate design and the depiction of a boat with two figures on the lid, so which believe that to represent the journey of the soul to the afterlife. Okay? Now, for number 32, a style of artwork created using many geometric shapes, often not resembling any object. Isa po siyang style of artwork created using many geometric shapes, often not resembling any object. A. Realism, B. Surrealism, C. Cubism, D. Baroque. Oh, bakit wala na po ngayong sumasagot? Okay. Sa gusto pong sumagot, maaari nyo lamang po itong i-chat sa chat box. Okay. Tignan po natin kung ano po ang sagot sa number 32. It is Cubism. Because Cubism, pioneered by Pablo Picasso and George Braque. Braque is an art style that uses fragmented geometric shapes to depict subject in abstract and non-representational ways. So it is often challenges traditional perspectives, focusing on multiple angles and forms simultaneously. So rather than resembling real-world objects. Okay? Nakuha nga po ba nating lahat ito? Nakuha nating lahat. Sa mga hindi po nakasagot ng tama or sa mga hindi po sumagot, okay lamang po yan because part lamang po yan ng ating learning. Okay, for number 33, the way artwork is arranged is called blank. The way artwork is arranged is called blank. A. Emphasis, B. Contour, C. Composition, or D. Stylus. Okay, the answer is letter C, composition, because composition refers to the arrangement of elements in an artwork. Ito po ay isang organization of shapes, colors, lines, and textures with a space, guiding how the viewer's eyes moves across the artwork. So, a well-composed artwork ensures harmony, balance, and visual appeal. So, the answer for number 33 is composition. Pumunta naman po tayo sa number 34. Which element of art is best described as the lightness or darkness of color? Uy, lightness or darkness of a color? Which element daw po of art is the best described to it? Okay, A, value, B, hue, C, texture, or D, balance. Okay, maaari nyo na po i-type ang inyong mga sagot. Marami pong nagsasabi ng hue, marami din pong nagsasabi ng D. Tingnan po natin ang sagot. Okay, marami. Okay, na-answer po nilang lahat. Yung mga letters. Lahat ng letters, hindi po yung ano. Okay. Now let's check what is the answer. Okay, sa mga tatlong naka-answer ng letter A is palakpakan nyo at itap nyo po ang sarili nyo. Okay, because in the context of art, value refers to the lightness or darkness of a color. So it is an essential element that helps to create contrast, depth, depth and dimension in artwork. Okay, pasensya niyo po. Nabulol. Value can be manipulated to convey mood, highlight certain areas, and create a sense of volume. Okay, we have number 35. Pablo Picasso is from the country of black. Saan daw po galing si Pablo Picasso? Saang country? A. Manila, B. Germany, C. Italy, or D. Spain? Okay, tingnan po natin kung tama po ba ang inyong mga sagot. Okay, the answer is letter D. Okay, napapansin ko, parang alam niyo po kung saan po galing si Pablo Picasso. Nagkausap na po ba kayo? Ay, joke lang po. Okay. Pablo Picasso is one of the most influential artists of the 20th century. He was born in Spain, so he is known for the pioneering Cubism and his contributions to modern art, which shaped the direction of art throughout the 20th century. Very good, everyone. Sa mga lahat po naka-answer ng letter D. Very good. So, number 36. Where was Jose Rizal born? Marami pong nakakaalam nito. Saan nga ba ipinanganak si Jose Rizal? A. Cavite, B. Manila, C. Laguna, D. Bulacan. Ay, marami pong excited sa sagot. Marami. Okay, so now, titingnan po natin kung ano ang sagot. Okay, magaling nga po kayong lahat at na-answer niyo po ito ng tama. It is letter C, Laguna. Because Jose Rizal was born on June 19, 1861 in Calamba, Laguna. Yay! In-answer po nila ng tama. Now, for number 37, what is the title of Rizal's first novel? Now, for number 37, pasensya po at na ano tayo, what is the title of Rizal's first novel? Okay, is it El Filibusterismo, B. Mi Ultimo Adios, or C. Noli Me Tangere, or Tangere, or D. La Solidaridad? It is Noli Me Tangere. So Noli Me Tangere was Jose Rizal's first novel because it was his way of exposing the social injustice and abuses of Spanish colonial rule in the Philippines. Okay, for number 38. What was Rizal's pen name when he wrote for the La Solidaridad? Okay, it is A. Laong Laan, B. Plaridel, D. Di Malasang, C. Di Malasang, D. Taga-Ilog. Okay, let's see what is the answer. A. Laong Laan. Okay, Laong Laan symbolizes his readiness and dedication to free the Philippines from Spanish rule. Now, for number 39, who was Jose Rizal's greatest love? Who inspired him deeply? A. Leonor Rivera, B. Josephine Bracken, C. Segunda Katigbak, D. Consuelo Ortiga. Okay. It is Leonor Rivera. Sa mga lahat po ng umanswer ng Josephine Bracken, okay lamang po yan. Totoo pong ang kanyang first love ay ang kanyang greatest love ni Jose Rizal ay si Leonor Rivera. Okay, their relationship lasted for 11 years, with much of it sustained through letters while Rizal was studying in Europe. So despite the distance, they remained emotionally connected, showing their mutual love and dedication. So siya po ang greatest love ni Jose Rizal. Hindi po si Justin Brackett. Very good, everyone. Sa mga lahat po na naka-answer ng letter A. Now, we have number 40. In what year was Rizal's El Filibusterismo published? Ano pong year yung El Filibusterismo ni Jose Rizal na published? A. 1887, B. 1889, C. 1891, or D. 1896? Okay, it is 1891. Very good. Maraming tama po ang nakasagot. So the novel was actually published in 1891 as a sequel to his earlier work, Noleme Tangere. So it was written to expose and critique the oppressive colonial role of Spain in the Philippines, so as well as the corruption and injustices perpetrated by the friars and the government. So, na-publish po ito noong 1891. Now, for number 41, who chronicled Ferdinand Magellan's journey and arrival in the Philippines? Who chronicled Ferdinand Magellan's journey and arrival in the Philippines? Is it A. Antonio Pigafetta, B. Miguel Lopez de Legazpi, C. Martin de Goite, or D. Juan de Salcedo? It is Antonio Pigafetta, because Pigafetta was a member of Magellan's expedition and served as the official chronicler. So he documented the voyage in his work titled Relación del Primo Viaggio en torno al mundo, so report of the first voyage around the world. So now for number 42, in which year did the Tidings McDuffie Act grant the Philippines Commonwealth status and a path to independence? Anong year did the Tidings McDuffie Act grant the Philippines Commonwealth status and a path to independence? Is it A. 1916, B. 1934, C. 1941, D. 1946? So, i-check nyo po at isipin nyo pong mabuti kung ang inyong isasagot ay tama po ba ang lahat? Okay, or tama. Okay, so, check po natin kung tama po ba ang inyong sagot. Letter B, 1934. So the Tidings McDuffie Act, also known as the Philippine Independence Act, was passed by the U.S. Congress and signed into law on March 24, 1934. Okay? Year 1934 po siya na na-grant ang Tidings McDuffie Act or the Philippine Independence Act. Okay, noong March 24, 1934. Now, for the 43, what is the main focus of utilitarianism? Ano po daw po ang main focus of utilitarianism? A. Duty, B. Justice, C. The greatest good for the greatest number, D. Personal pleasure. So, ang personal pleasure po ay hindi po kabilang sa utilitarianism, okay? So, may isa po akong tinanggal na dyan. So, it is letter C, the greatest good for the greatest number. So, the main focus of utilitarianism is the principle of maximizing happiness or well-being for the greatest number of people. So, yun po yung utilitarianism, ha? Okay, so it is the greatest good for the greatest number. Now, for number 44, which philosopher is most closely associated with deontological ethics? Sino daw po yung philosopher ang most closely associated with deontological ethics? A. Aristotle, B. Immanuel Kant, C. John Stuart Mill, D. Friedrich Nietzsche. Okay, it is Immanuel Kant. So Kant's ethical theory, often called Kantian ethics, is grounded in the concept of duty. Dion in Greek means duty. Okay. Now for number 55, who is known for developing the theory of moral development stages? Who is known for developing the theory of moral development stages? A. John Piaget, B. Lawrence Kohlberg, C. Sigmund Freud, D. Immanuel Kant. It is Lawrence Kohlberg. So Kohlberg expanded on the work of psychologist John Piaget to create a detailed framework for understanding how individuals developed moral reasoning over time. Now for number 46, what term describes the ethical belief in doing no harm? In doing no harm. What terms describe the ethical belief in doing no harm? Is it letter A, justice, B, autonomy, C, non-maleficence, D, utility? Okay, is non-maleficence. So non-maleficence is one of the core principles of medical ethics and generally means the duty to avoid causing harm or injury to others, so particularly in the context of healthcare. Okay, now we have number 47. Which branch of ethics deals with a question like, what is the nature of right and wrong? Which branch of ethics deals with a question like, what is the nature of right and wrong? Is it A, normative ethics, B, meta-ethics, C, applied ethics, or D, descriptive ethics? Okay? Okay, tingnan po natin kung tama inyong mga sagot. It is meta-ethics. Palakpakan po ang lahat. So meta-ethics, it explores the foundations and meaning of ethical concepts such as good, bad, right, and wrong. So the answer for what is the nature of right and wrong, sa anong branch daw po ito nagdi-deal, it is the meta-ethics. Okay, for number 48, which ethical theory states that an action is morally right if it is maximized happiness and minimizes pain? Which ethical theory states that an action is morally right if it is maximized happiness and minimizes pain? Is it A, deontology, B, virtue ethics, C, utilitarianism, D, existentialism? Okay. Okay, so now let's check if your answer is correct. So the answer is letter C, utilitarianism. So which ethical theory states that an action is morally right if it maximizes happiness and minimizes pain? The answer is utilitarianism. So the ethical theory that states an action is morally right if it maximizes happiness and minimizes pain is utilitarianism. So now we have the number 29. Which Philippine city is regarded as the cradle of the Philippine Revolution? Which Philippine city is regarded as the cradle of the Philippine Revolution? A. Manila, B. Cebu, C. Cavite, or D. Davao? Okay, it is Cavite. Because Cavite is significant because of its location of several important events during the Philippine Revolution. Revolution against the Spanish rule. So it is where the Katipunan was active, especially in Cavite's towns like Kawit, where Emilio Aguinaldo declared Philippine independence on June 12, 1898. So the cradle of the Philippine Revolution is Cavite. Okay. Okay. Nakuha po ba lahat? Nakuha po ng lahat. Very good. Now, for number 50, the last number, who was known as the brains of the revolution? Sino daw po yung utak ng revolusyon? A. Apolinario Mabini, B. Andres Bonifacio, C. Emilio Aguinaldo, or D. Juan Luna. Ito po ay madali lamang pong nasasagutan ng lahat, no? At marami po ang sumasagot. Okay. Ang utak po ng revolusyon ay si Juan Luna. Hindi po si Apolinario Mabini. Okay, sa mga nakasagot po ng Juan Luna, magaling po kayong lahat. Okay, his intelligence and strategic thinking earned him this title as he crafted many of the political and legal foundations of the revolutionary government. Okay. So, yan lamang po ang lahat at marami pong salamat. Sana po meron po kayong natutunan galing sa akin at magandang umaga.